Dr. Mel here, and welcome to our YouTube channel. If you haven't already, in this video I'm going to be talking about some very important, relevant information in regards to it being the early part of the year of 2020, and this is going to be relevant to you no matter where you're at in the world. Obviously, if you're listening to this in the future, it may not be as relevant as far as why I'm doing this video, but the content within this video will last you a lifetime. The strategies I'm going to be giving are going to last you forever. So make sure you comment, like, and subscribe so you can be the first to get this content, to get, notifications when I release new videos, and Michael releases new videos. So now that we got that taken care of, like, comment, subscribe. I am tuning in from the beautiful Australia, and I wanted to keep my headphones in to make sure that you can hear me properly, because it's windy out and there's clearly people around me. So to make sure that you all can hear me, that's why I got the headphones in. So today we are going to be talking about the infamous coronavirus, COVID-19 for the scientific term, and what you can do to make sure that your immune system is rocking, to make sure that you have a strong fortress that you can fight off this and many other pathogens, foreign invaders, viruses, bacteria, all of that. What I'm going to be providing to you is some key tips and strategies to keep your immune system strong. So a little bit of background. The coronavirus, they're calling this one the novel coronavirus because coronavirus exists. It exists, if you've had the flu, you've had a version of the coronavirus. Now they're calling this one the novel coronavirus, and I got my notes here, by the way, because I want to make sure I don't miss anything that's really important to share with you. But the coronavirus is the novel coronavirus. So if you've had the flu, you've had some version of a coronavirus, and with this one, it impacts our immune system. More specifically, it impacts the respiratory system. So right now, there's no current treatment for the coronavirus. Just like many other viruses, is basically, sit and wait. Right now, what they're actually doing as far as public health officials and practitioners, if they suspect that someone does have the coronavirus, they're giving them antibiotics to protect against secondary infections. And we'll talk about the issue with that, but mainly, there's really no cure for a virus, and if they do come out with this miracle cure, so they talk about, it's going to take a while because they need to do research on certain things before they put it onto the market. One of the issues with introducing many forms of antibiotics and multiple rounds of antibiotics is it kills off the microbiome. It kills off not only the bad guys, but your good bacteria too. And that can leave you more susceptible actually to future infections. And we'll talk about how that relates to the immune system, the nervous system, and the gut microbiome. But I get why they do this. Trust me, I get it. I get why they do the secondary infection, especially if you're of elderly population or you have a weakened immune system, you're in one of those populations. I get it. And people don't understand the long-lasting effects of overusing antibiotics really does a huge detriment to your gut microbiome and your healthy guys too. So we want to make sure we have strategies in place that if you are affected, and really just to strengthen your immune system in general, but if you are affected and you're taking antibiotics in general, whether it's for the coronavirus or not, that you have things to support you, to strengthen your internal fortress. A couple other facts about the coronavirus here. The media, of course, as we know, portrays the negative side, the scary side. I call it the fearful facts is what they present. How many people have died, how many people it's affecting, how fast it's affecting. But here's some other facts that I don't really think people are aware of, that 97% of people who get the virus survive. 97%. So the odds are in your favor already. And 80% of those who get affected have been reported as mild cases, meaning, again, they're mild, they're not that intense, they have some symptomatology, and they're mild, they're not as severe. Now, the most common population being affected is older Chinese men who have smoked. So they already have a weakened immune system and the reserves of their respiratory system are already decreased. So remember that your immune system is not just your white blood cells in your cardiovascular system and in your bloodstream, but your immune system it's your skin, it's your gut, it's your lymphatic system, it's your respiratory system. When we have what I call an immune expression and we're coughing and we have a runny nose, that is part of your immune system. Your body has really intelligent ways of getting rid of things. Your excretory system, meaning your bowel movements, your kidneys, your urine, runny noses, those are all ways that the body tries to push out the pathogen and push out the foreign invader so that your internal system can stay healthy. So remember that the immune system isn't just white blood cells and little viruses we think of when we're studying in biology class. It's your whole body. So think of like your whole body as a fortress and a defense system and a defense mechanism. So back to what I mentioned earlier about the media. The media loves to focus on fear. Why? Well, because your brain loves drama. Your brain loves to and needs to pay attention to fear. It needs to pay attention to things that are threatening to its survival. Most of our brain deals with this. You know, you have the fear brain, you have the limbic brain, the emotional system, and then eventually as the brain has evolved, we have the, cortex and the prefrontal cortex, which is more about cognitive reasoning and consciousness and evolution and compassion and all of that. But a lot of your brain is focused on what is in my environment that could be a threat to my survival. And so the media loves to play on this because think about it, like we love drama. As much as we all try to be positive and optimistic, our brain loves drama. Our brain loves, being, kind of in that fear state because it releases hits of adrenaline. Now, as much as they talk about the coronavirus or COVID-19, COVID-19, for those of you who want to do more research on it, that's the true virus name, novel coronavirus. The media is portraying the scary things. It's portraying the fear, and I get it. But again, not only do we have a virus pandemic, but we also have a fear pandemic. And we generally, can get freaked out even if it's not surrounding us, right? We hear about other things happening in other countries, and we automatically can have a fear response. Living in the fear response and being in fear, when we release cortisol and all these neurochemicals, that actually dampens and weakens the immune system. And I'm going to get into that further in this video. If you're tuning in on Instagram Live, by the way, if you want to see the full version of this video, make sure you hop on over to Dr. Mel Krug on YouTube and like and subscribe to get the full version of the video because Instagram only allows 15 minutes and I'm already at 8 and we're going to go over because this is important stuff. So the media likes to focus on fear. The media likes to focus on what's going to create the most bang for our buck, what's going to get the most amount of viewers to pay attention, right? Because they get paid for how many people watch. Let's be real here. Public health officials are saying, when it comes to those of you, depending on where you're viewing, we do have people who view this and tune in to me around the world. Public health officials are saying it's only a matter of time before it comes to America. And I think there's already been some novel cases, the first documented case, whatever. You can believe what you want on the media. What I want to share is from a public health perspective, that's their job. That's their job to be aware of epidemics, pandemics, cases, outbreaks, that kind of thing. And their job is control, okay? Their job is control. And they say, okay, it's time to start packing up, masks and food and that kind of stuff and just be prepared and hunker down and, just wait for it to come. And there's a couple things you can be prepared as far as their perspective. But I want to take that a step further. Why wait? Why go into this fear-based mentality? Why go into victimhood and waiting for things to happen, waiting for that miracle cure, quote unquote? Why assume victimhood and doom when you can take steps now, right now, to improve your immune system and to actually be empowered in the process, to take natural, sustainable steps to increase your fortress in not only your body, but your mind, because your mind plays a powerful role in your immune system, how fast your body can fight off things. The mind is super important. So I want to share with you ways to strengthen your immune system, to strengthen your body, to strengthen your mind, and to kick the coronavirus's ass. And I'm not saying that I want you to get it. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I want you to feel super strong and empowered and that you are a force to be reckoned with. And that you are unstoppable. That's what I'm all about, okay? So these are strategies, by the way, that I give a lot of my clients, a lot of my practice members in the office. And what I found is when they implement these strategies, they report back they have less sick days, they're taking less sick medication, they have less, days that they have to take off work, they're more present, they're stronger, and if they do have some sort of immune response, it's very short-lived, meaning they fight it off right away. And that's what I want for you, because sometimes we need that immune response. We need to amplify symptoms to actually kick it out of our system. So these strategies that I'm going to be sharing with you are going to help you not only now, but into the future, no matter what time you're watching this, okay? So here we go. And again, implement these now and see what happens. I promise you, if you implement these now, you're gonna just be so much stronger in life and actually love when the seasons shift and all of that. So number one is sleep, quality rest. This is where the body goes to work. This is where the healing happens. A lot of people don't realize that when we are sleeping, that is when there's cellular rejuvenation, cellular restoration, and cellular repair. During the day, your body generally is in breakdown mode. It's breaking down food, it's doing other things. It has to focus a lot of energy in the brain. It has to focus on other things, right? Like at work, it's not focusing on the deep cellular rejuvenation. So quality sleep and quality rest is huge when it comes to increasing your immune system. And that doesn't mean just resting when you feel ill or when you have immune expression. It's getting good rest all the time. A lot of these strategies require a buildup, right? It's not just you do it once. It's not McDonald's to care. It's a consistency, repetition theme. We got to build up these reserves, right? We got to get momentum into our system. So number one is rest, killing off the bad guys, helping, what I talked about too, energy conservation, energy prioritization. You see, when your nervous system prioritizes what's important, and your nervous system is the master control system, and I'll get into this in my later points, but your nervous system is the master control system. And so during the day, or if there's a threat coming at you during the day, it's going to prioritize what's most important. And generally within the nervous system, number one is breathing, making sure you have enough oxygen to get to your muscles to run from a threat, and cardiovascular, which go generally hand in hand, blood flow, to get blood flow pumping in the muscles in case you need to run from a predator. That's number 1 and 2. In proper movement, right? We got to be able to run or walk to move away from a predator. The immune system is important, but it's not as important as some of these other functions. So if you are not feeling well, you need to rest. You need to prioritize that. You can't be forcing through your job, trying to hit deadlines. Trust me, this is going to make a huge difference, okay? And we'll get to that later down the road. But there's this physiological hierarchy that I talk about in a lot of other videos that's really important to understand on why you need rest to recover faster. So number 1 is rest, quality sleep. So when in doubt, rest. Now, I do have a video, the 7 ways to better sleep. So if you follow, like, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, you will see that video, and I go about 7 different ways that you can improve your sleep, because I get that we are in a sleep pandemic as well. People are chronically fatigued, so make sure you check out that video. And again, if you're watching on Instagram, you can check out the rest of this video on YouTube, the full version, okay? So number 2, support your gut, your digestive system. Like I mentioned earlier, the gut microbiome has a direct connection and communication with the nervous system and your immune system. Specifically that enteric nervous system, which is basically like your gut has a second brain. You have a second brain in your body and exists in your gut. They say about 80 to 90% of serotonin comes from our gut. And specifically, the immune cells are very tied into this as well. So when you have gut problems, when you have digestive issues, constipation, diarrhea, gas, bloating, IBS, Crohn's, leaky gut, you've heard of this. When you have a poor digestive system, that means you probably most likely have immune problems, right? We hear a lot of people who deal with autoimmune problems. A lot of people who deal with autoimmune problems, meaning they're chronically have a constant inflammation, constant immune response going on, which is not healthy. It never shuts off. It's just like this dull response. A lot of these people we know have poor immune systems, right? It's hard to fight off things, or they just are chronically ill all the time. So when our digestive system and gut is irritated and inflamed, and I'll talk about inflammatory markers and what can cause inflammation in other videos, in this one too, when our digestive system is inflamed and irritated, that creates this cascade, which then irritates the gut, irritates the brain, the nervous system, irritates the immune system. And again, this is just a massive cascade. So that's why I say you can't just compartmentalize systems in the body. We have to talk about it as a whole. We have to talk about it as you being a full, organized, intelligent human being. Okay, so number 2 is support your gut, which leads into number 3, which is what can you do to support your gut? Well, eating healthy, drinking clean water, making sure that you're avoiding things, especially not only when you're having an immune response. Again, we're talking about immune system, coronavirus, all of that. But making sure that you're doing this all the time, because you have to strengthen the gut microbiome. You have to strengthen the actual gut walls, the cellular tissue of the stomach, the large intestine, the small intestine. All of that is part of your gut. Your liver, your spleen, all of that, your kidneys, that is your gut. It's not just your stomach, it's your whole gut, your whole processing system in the lower part of your body. And actually your gut even starts with your mouth, right? So avoiding things that can cause inflammation. And this is easier than you think, but I don't think sometimes we think about it when we're maybe craving those sweet foods. So excess sugar, processed foods, so anything that's packaged in boxes, in cans, soda, those are things that are going to cause inflammation in the body, which again, go back to that triggering of inflammation, irritation, digestive system, nervous system, immune system. So avoiding things like that, making sure that you're consuming whole foods, making sure that you're eating relatively an anti-inflammatory diet. Now, we can go big into this, and there's a lot of people that I encourage you to follow. Naturopathic doctors are huge, talking about how food is medicine. Functional doctors, have them in your back pocket, but it can be simpler than you think. There's a lot of people who also do certain testing. If you have certain food allergies, for example, some people, if they eat green beans, they go into an inflammatory response. I know if I have a lot of chickpeas and hummus, I get a little bit more bloated, and I've done that testing for myself, so I don't eat it as often. And a lot of people would say, okay, beans are healthy, but I digress. Making sure that you're eating whole foods, read the label. Some really good anti-inflammatory foods can be healthy fats, so avocados, eggs, nuts, seeds, grass-fed meats, sustainably, caught fish, that type of thing is going to really support good fats in the body, anti-inflammatory. A lot of those foods, herbs, lots of veggies, healthy fruits, a lot of these foods have, they're beneficial for you. They're going to support you. They have antioxidants. They have anti-inflammatory properties. Turmeric is huge. I put turmeric on everything. Turmeric is a huge anti-inflammatory. Ginger, that kind of thing. Just start to play around with this and do your own research. Again, this could be a whole nother 3-hour video. I'm not going to go big into it, but making sure that you have that support in your gut, because that ties back to that supportive immune system. Okay, so point number 3, healthy food, healthy gut. Point number 4, I got notes on this, you guys. Nervous system support. We've already talked about that, but making sure, as we talked about, that you're operating more in that healthy parasympathetic, sympathetic balance. Making sure that your nervous system is functioning properly, because that is the master control system. We talked about physiological hierarchy. Well, your central nervous system is number 1. And as I talked about, fear, living in a fear response, is going to keep you at a weakened immune state. Releasing cortisol all the time. Cortisol is needed to create an inflammatory response to fight off things, but we don't want it long term, right? We don't need it long term. That's going to, help spike adrenaline and that kind of thing. Those things we need initially, but long term, that's very detrimental. So with our nervous system, we want to make sure that we're supporting it. And there's a lot of nervous system strategies out there as far as deep breathing, yoga, meditation. More specifically, what I get into with my clients is point number 5, which is chiropractic care. Chiropractic care helps stimulate the nervous system by adjusting the spine and nervous system very specifically, very gently, to help the brain come out of that fight or flight and into rest and digest, and actually know when to turn on fight or flight and when to not, helping it become more intelligent. So making sure that with chiropractic care, we're aligning the spine and nervous system to start to function better, getting that brain flow from from the brain through the spinal cord, out every single nerve to every single cell, tissue, organ, gland in your body, including what we've already mentioned. The nerves going to your gut, the nerves going to your lymphatic system, the nerves going to your immune cells, right? Making sure that things are functioning properly. Chiropractic is huge in turning on that parasympathetic rest, digest, healing, recovery, repair, all of that. I have found too, side note, that when people get adjusted and they've had decreased immune responses, or they've had this kind of chronic sub-inflammatory state, sub-immune system response happening, that when they start getting adjusted, that actually can amplify the immune response to be a healthy response, and their symptoms can amplify. And as they amplify, the body amplifies for a few days and then it's over with, rather than having this just subtle chronic sick state. It's a really beautiful response. We're turning on that parasympathetic, pumping the brakes in the sympathetic, and rebalancing and making sure the nervous system is coherent and flowing properly. So that's point number 4, is the nervous system support, and I go into that in other videos, breath work, doing some different biohacks, meditation. Number 5 is chiropractic care is huge for the immune system. We're almost done, you guys, stick with me. Number 6, movement, exercise. When your body is strong, your immune system is strong. So I don't care what it is you're doing, if you're walking, if you love to walk 3 times a week, if you like to lift weights, if you like to do high intensity interval training, which is something I like to do a couple days a week. When you actually exercise and kind of rev up your cardiovascular system, train your muscles, you're actually training your brain and your body to deal with stress better. Because when you're exercising, you're actually breaking down tissue and you're doing a somewhat stress response. In turn, if you give yourself proper recovery time, you're teaching your brain and body how to deal with stress better. And remember, coronavirus, pathogen, whatever it is you're increasing your immune system for, that is a type of stress, okay? So exercise, keeping your body strong, keeping your fortress strong is huge. I like to get some form of movement in every day. You know, I do HIIT training about twice a week. I like to lift weights maybe once a week, do yoga once or twice a week. And on the other days, just rest, do a nice walk, gentle jog, that kind of thing. Keeping your body moving and strong, super important. Again, back to our initial point, all of this takes time, consistency, and repetition in building up your reserves. Remember that this isn't a quick fix. You don't just work out and eat a salad once or get adjusted once. It's a continuation, because health is a process, right? If something is good for you, how many times should you do it? Probably for the rest of your life, right? Okay. So number 6, exercise when you're feeling well. We've got some singers up here if you can hear that. Number 7, some other biohacking strategies that I like to share with people that I think a lot of people don't think about. One is elderberry syrup. You can make elderberry syrup on your own. You can buy it from a co-op, Whole Foods. This is an amazing syrup, a berry that has been known to strengthen your immune system. Again, incorporating it into your diet, even when you are feeling well. That is the point of health strategies, is to do them all the time, not just when you're feeling like shit, okay? So elderberry syrup is great. Homeopathy, Dr. Jenny Holguin, she's great. She's a homeopath in Minnesota, and I have referred a lot of my clients to her, having natural remedies to support your immune system properly and from a more natural, sustainable way. So if you haven't checked out homeopathy, gotta get a homeopath in your back pocket. And essential oils. There's a couple essential oils that I like to use on a consistent basis. Mainly Thieves is great, whether you use doTERRA, Young Living, I don't really care. But oils can be super helpful. Plant medicine, making sure that if you are using essential oils, that they're coming from a company that is sustainable and not using fillers in their oils, because that can be dangerous if you're consuming them orally. So making sure you do your research on that. I personally use Young Living. I know doTERRA is a great brand too, but Thieves is great. Putting it on the bottoms of your feet, which is really nice for absorption. Eucalyptus, really great for the respiratory system. Raven is another one I like to use. RC, those are Young Living brands for the respiratory system. Clove and rosemary, all really great. Oregano too can be really powerful. Just make sure, again, you're doing your research. Most of those within the Young Living brand can be orally ingested, put on topically on the body. Aromatherapy is great. Get a diffuser in your room, pump that out, crank that out. So nice. I've been putting Thieves on my feet pretty much every day this winter. Clearly it's not winter where I am now, but I really like Pheeps. So all in all, those are my 7 points to help strengthen your immune system naturally. Look, if you're not feeling well and you're not feeling 100%, listen to your body. It is not worth forcing yourself, driving yourself, ignoring things. Don't go into pushing and exhausting yourself just to hit a deadline or a project. Think of your body as a beautiful living temple that needs adequate nourishment and rejuvenation to keep you strong over time. Listen, this is your only home, right? Your body, just a beautiful, beautiful fortress that we gotta take care of. It takes time, right? The pyramids weren't built in a day, neither were you. So that includes that when I talk about listening to your body, that includes knowing when to slow down and when to give yourself a break and when to give yourself proper rest and rejuvenation. You'd be surprised that if you can give yourself 1 to 2 full days of rest and recovery, I'm talking like don't check your emails, don't get into the mindless games on your phone, on your computer, on your TV, when you can just rest, drink some tea, read a book, take a nap, sleep. 2 days of that, you would be surprised how fast you can kick viruses, bacteria, any sort of foreign pathogen you're dealing with. You'd be so surprised how fast you can kick its butt, especially when you have all these other strategies I mentioned in place. It can speed up the healing process and not have it dragged out for 2 or 3 weeks because you're not, you're going to work, you're pushing hard, you're getting less than 7 hours of sleep. You'd be surprised that if you just give yourself that full rest and recovery day, which I know it's hard in our culture, but is it really worth killing yourself? Is it really worth working yourself to death? Think about that. I don't think so. So, don't sacrifice your health. I challenge you to prioritize your health. I challenge you to prioritize your self-care so that you can be stronger. I challenge you. I promise you. And I challenge you on these strategies. I promise you, if you put them into place and you're consistent with them, you will have a stronger immune system. Your life will change. I see it every single day, day in and day out in my office. And you're going to kick coronavirus's ass. You're going to kick anything's ass, not just about coronavirus. You're going to just be strong and powerful. So don't work yourself to death. Your health is important. If you found this valuable, I hope you found it valuable. 1, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Share this with someone who you know would benefit. And comment below if you have other immune boosting natural strategies that you have found work for you, work for your clients. If you're another chiropractor, homeopath, osteopath, if you're another practitioner, share with me. I want to know. I'm all about learning. And if there are other things that you want to learn about, comment below, okay? And make sure you check out the other video about sleep in our video library. I appreciate you all. Thank you so much for tuning in. Listen, you got this. Don't go into fear. Don't go into victimhood. You are powerful. You are strong. Your body is amazing. Peace, love, and keep inspiring. See you in the next video.